Hello, guys. Welcome to Saturday School. Hello. So I'm going to give everyone an opportunity to pop on, and I'm going to, not everybody, clearly, right? And I'm going to make sure that I say some hellos because I felt horrible on Thursday night conversations. I realized that I had a gang of people that said hello, and I got so caught up in my intro rant that I did not say hello. So if you were here on Thursday, you said hello. It wasn't my intention to overlook you. Like, that's just not my style. So I apologize for that. And today I said I'm going to slow down and make sure that I say my hellos. So hello, you guys. So hello, happy Saturday to you, Devon, and welcome to the community. Hello, Lois. I'm assuming that's Lois. I know the name. Hello, Nikki Jordan. Happy Saturday to you. My content consumption. Hey, hello. My content consumption. I don't recognize the name, but hello. Kirsten Evans. Hello. Oh, it's Brian. Thank you. I don't have my readers on, and it's like I thought I recognized your bald head, but I didn't want to assume. Do I know my peeps or do I know my peeps? I'm like, I think that my 50-year-old eyes are seeing Brian. Hello, Brian. Hello, Deb. Hello, you guys. I am so excited. Today is going to maybe not be as long. I don't know. Maybe it will be. But it's going to be kind of a slow ride because I want to really share my tips to how I grew to $10,000 months, what I consider really fast. And I shared this in one of my recent videos where I actually set a goal going into the year of wanting to earn $100,000 in my first quarter, right? In the first 90 days. And I didn't do that. But then about 60 days or so, like into the year, right? When I realized, okay, I'm probably not going to hit 100,000 in my first quarter. I got really good with the state of my business because I realized that virtually any one of us can like just skyrocket and have a really big month or have a really big week or a really big launch. I've done all of those things before. And 9 times out of 10, those things were not sustainable. And so when I ended the first quarter, right, earning what I earned, which was what a lot of people earn still in an entire year, I was like, you know what? I am so good with my results because I know that I built something sustainable. I know that I built something where every single month, right, my revenue, which pretty much is my profits, right, has been growing. And I felt way better about that because there is something, right, in our psyche where it's kind of like if we achieve a result and then we can't achieve it again, we feel like something is wrong, right? Or we're in that fix it mode and you kind of take your eyes off the prize and now you're trying to fix what is wrong. And so for me, I got really well that my business grew the way it grew. And so the reason I want to really take the time to share with you guys how I grew to $10,000 months fast and how you guys can do it too. I'm sharing real practical tips here. All right. Is because I actually right now I'm actually experiencing $20,000 months, but that's just been 2 months in a row where I've been in that realm. Whereas $10,000 months, I've been at $10,000 months and above ever since February. So I feel like a bigger authority to speak on that for you guys, to share how I got to $10,000 a month and how my income hasn't dropped since then. It's only increased literally every single month. And the fact of the matter is, like, I can't see it coming down from there, right? That's why I feel like so called to share these tips with you. So, like, let me know if you think this could be helpful, right? I enjoy being authentic. I don't mind sharing where I am, right? At first, I was going to actually talk about how to grow to $20,000 months, but I'm like, you know what? Once I've hit $20,000 months and above for 4 or 5 months in a row, right, then I will feel like I'm an authority to actually talk about not only how I grew it, but how I actually sustained it, right, and continued to grow every single month. Where with $10,000 months, like I said, now I'm going on my but fourth, fifth month of doing it, right? And so I definitely feel like I'm an authority and can, help you guys in this way. So hello, you guys. Hello, Veronica. Hello, Tyra. So I wanted to share something first with you guys, all right, which is really, really important. Oftentimes in this industry, and I've been talking about this more, people really frown. And I realize it's us, right? When we're not where we want to be, we frown upon people, talking numbers, because sometimes it can be triggering. I get it, right? Or sometimes it could be like, doesn't really take all that. But you guys, I want you to understand why sharing how to get to these bigger numbers that move you into the six-figure a year realm is such a big deal. Like, it's bigger than you know. And so I oftentimes will do my research, to actually get the stats. And one stat I used to always use was that, 90% of females in business are not earning six figures a year, right? Which is really, really sad, y'all. But the numbers are actually like worse when it comes to this overall. Now, for the wrong person, it'll likely scare you. And if you're an excuse maker, any of y'all excuse makers out there, right? Are you owning up to be an excuse maker? These stats might make you say, you know what, forget it. Like, I'm not even going to try, right? If the numbers are that, right, I see myself as part of those that are not doing it, and I don't see myself as a part of the people that are actually doing it, then you won't be excited about these stats. But if you're like me, it's always like I've been saying, right? Like, where can a girl like me go? And I don't say that to be like cliche or to be funny, but that's literally how I feel. Like, now I understand how when people reach really, really big numbers, they're like, this shouldn't have happened to me, right? Like, I wasn't someone that went to college. I'm actually a very, very silly person. Like, I'm not like just like crazy smart. I can figure things out, right? And I have a mind for business, but like, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. You know what I'm saying? And so I did come from a family, with the silver spoon. My mom was a single mom. She worked 2 or 3 jobs just to, keep food on the table for me and my brother. Never wanted to go to college, right? I never wanted to go to college. I knew that the corporate world wasn't going to be for me. So like, yeah, I do look up sometimes. And I'm like, I've been in this space for 16 years and I've made a lot of money, but I didn't always have the most stable of businesses. And now it's like, I look up and I'm like, where can a person like me go? Right? That was born into a lot of L's. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as like the way the world views it, right? Was born into a lot of L's, right? Didn't have a silver spoon, didn't have a lot of advantages given, right? But had a burning desire right out of high school that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And when the internet came around, like, I just knew like this could really, really be my shot. And so when we talk about things like $10,000 months, which puts you above $100,000 a year, I want you to understand why this is so important and why it's such a big deal and why I'm just insistent on never shutting up about it. All right. So only 6% of businesses ever make it to 6 figures. Only 6% of businesses ever make it to 6 figures, y'all. Like, do you see how, like, when you do it and you're like, wait, I cracked the code. Like, I'm doing this thing. I'm not just having a big month. I'm doing this thing and I'm growing this thing. Like, I figured out something for myself. It's a big stinking deal, right? Because to be amongst, right, the 6% of businesses that are earning over 6 figures a year, right? And now, like I said, I don't see any signs of that ever changing now that I have figured out some things. Of course, I want to inspire more people with the tips that are actually working for me. Now, let's just talk about 6 figures, period. We're talking about people that work jobs, that earn 6 figures on their jobs, as well as businesses, right? Only around 18% of all earners in the US make at least 6 figures. Y'all, it's a big deal no matter how you look at it. Of all earners in the US, only about 18% are earning at least 6 figures. Share your thoughts on that. Feel free to chime in the live chat, like share your thoughts on that. See, when I see stats like this, like even if I was brand new and or out there like you are right now, and I was listening to this and receiving this, my thought would be, but that's not going to be me. Like, I'm going to be amongst the 6% because I'm not doing this to fail. right? Like I'm not doing this to barely scratch the surface. I'm not doing this to create yet another struggle in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing this to actually ease the tension. I'm doing this to get more money. I'm doing this to improve my lifestyle. So like those stats are fine and dandy, but that simply is not going to be me. Yeah, exactly, Veronica. Wow. So when you understand, like it's a really, really big deal when we collectively, right, start racking up these wins. All right. And so the reason why it's such a big deal, I believe that more people need to know what the number, and feel free to Google it yourself, right? Why I believe more people need to know this is that too many people minimize six figures as being a standard. Let me know if you totally agree with that, right? Too many people, when it comes to like making money online, right, they minimize six figures as if everyone that ventures into business is making six figures, is making $8,333 every single month. They minimize it, right? When we minimize things, what happens? Right? It actually gives the masses a false belief that it's easy. It gives the masses a false belief that, oh, if I venture into business, I'm going to hit six figures, right? Because that's what everyone is doing. Everyone is living this laptop lifestyle. Everyone that starts a business, everyone that starts something digital, everyone that sells a digital product, everyone that decides to do digital marketing earns six figures. Right? All these boss babes and all these, nomad dudes and all these people, right? They're earning six figures. So by minimizing the fact that no, hardly anybody is getting to six figures, I just think that when you do encounter someone that is doing it, right, that you should actually listen, no matter who that person is. I'm not saying I've got to be that person for you. But those are the people I have in my life, or people that have legitimately done it and have done it for a span of time. I'm not going to allow a span of time to go by without sharing the tips that took me from struggling, right, to having a business that I can't see ever coming down, right, from $10,000 months. Because where my business used to struggle, right, just to kind of like skeet skirt, right, around that number every single month, I'm looking up, and by, barely the half of the month, I'm already at 10,000. I can't see a month, right, where that just is not my reality. All right. And so you guys, it's so important to know it is a big deal, but that also means it's going to take something of you. Y'all, that's why I give the tough love. That's why I say things like, y'all, in our 50s and our 60s, right, in our 70s, we don't have time to sit around talking about we're trying to figure something out. What are we trying to figure out? All I know is I'm 50, and every single day, if I'm not getting better, I am going backwards. If I'm not doing better for my family, I am going backwards. If I'm not making empowering decisions, right, to move us forward, we are going backwards, right? Because time is we're at the speed of light, right? I mean, you think about how fast technology changes, how fast these things happen. Y'all, and not to be any kind of way, but how many of y'all have been hanging out with me, right, just for the past 4 or 5 months since the first of the year, or right before the first of the year, right? And you've been following my journey, right? Think about it. Whether you've done anything or not, time's gone by anyways. And I've done something with the time, right? And again, I only say this to be eye-opening because I've had to do this. As I've looked at people, I'm like, I've been sitting here monkeying around where they went off and they changed their whole life. I've done it with weight loss too. I'm like, I sat here over this year, right, packing on more pounds. And this person, right, that was heavier than me is now smaller than me because in the course of a year, every single day they did something, right, to burn the fat, right? You guys, that's eye-opening. Time is not waiting for us. It's just not. Time is not promised. It's just not. And I think each and every one of us, in so many instances of our life, we can look and say, wow, while I did nothing, I saw other people, or I saw that person do something that could have been me. Or where could I have been if I would have just taken action like that person? If I just would have walked daily, if I just would have watched my calories daily, right? If I just would have did the video, if I would have committed to a plan. That's what I'm going to help you guys with by actually sharing the tips, right? That moved me from a place of struggling, right? Trying to figure it out. You guys, some of you guys know I've shared stories of how, like, I'm not new to making money, but my money used to be like, I would do a workshop and I would close $26,000 in business in a week, but I wouldn't repeat it. I wouldn't go do a workshop the next month, right? Or I would launch live and I would make $9,000 or $10,000, right, in a week from launching live, but I wasn't doing it every single week. So it's like I knew how to do stuff to make money, but I didn't have a business, right, where everything is like on repeat. And again, that's what we're going to talk about today, right? Are the tips that will help you grow to $10,000 a month faster than most. Again, if we already know what the numbers say, can we get off of our high horses, right, about how we're just going to figure this out on our own? I'm just going to do it my way, bump what anyone else is saying, right? Or allowing ourselves to be triggered by other people's successes and thinking we're going to go figure it out. Well, only 6% of businesses are even doing six figures, right? So what makes us think, right, if we've never done it before, we're just going to do it by ourselves? Why not listen to people, right, that are already doing it or have done it, right, and are willing to share their tips with you, right? I love it, Lois. I will be in the 6%. Exactly. Empowering thoughts, right? Like you're like, okay, well, that sucks to be, the 94%. Well, all I know is I'm going to be amongst the 6%. And I just think it's so important, right, that these kind of things are shared so that we don't minimize. It's not everyone out there doing it. So I look at it, it's really important that I've reached where I've reached in my business, that I've figured out how to fix some things, right, so that I can be in this position, not just for myself. Again, we're going to talk about that today as well, but so I can show up and let Lois know. Lois, you have your work cut out for you, right? But you can't be amongst the 6%. You've just got to figure out here. I'm going to drop it right here, y'all. You just got to figure out how to not be like the 96%. Someone say mic drop. You just got to decide to not be like the 96%. Some of y'all should be like really, really butthurt with that. Like seriously, right? Because most of us do walk around like the masses. We are a part of the masses. Unless we make definite decision, a definite choice not to be like the masses, right? If we are not challenging ourselves. So I'll share this real quick right now. We're in the process of buying a new car, but y'all, we're buying the car cash. Exciting. We're buying the brand new car cash. So exciting. And so I was sitting in bed, and of course I was reading. My husband was on the computer. He was researching the cars, and he kept asking questions. And I was like, well, what would you want? Like, what would you want? What do you want? Right? Let's not even talk about price tag, anything. Like for me, I'm always expanding the way that I look at things, the way that I process things, the way that I decide upon things. And I think that right there is what makes a difference, right? Deciding upon things. Y'all, 50s, 60s, 70s, we can't decide upon things. Then can we maybe just decide we're just going to enjoy our retirement the way that it's given to us? Or we're going to decide to enjoy life as it's been given to us. Because if we can't decide upon things, then literally we're saying, you know what, I'm just okay with everything happening on default. Whatever comes my way is just what I'm going to accept. I just know that when you decide upon things, things change for you because the way that you do things actually change. All right. So again, Lois, of course you could be amongst the 6%. Of course you're going to be amongst the 6%. You've just got to decide today that with every fiber in you, there's nothing like the 96% in you. Yeah, let's go extremes. There's nothing like the 96% that's in you. Right? Someone type in 6%. Time to make a decision. That's it, Tyra. And guess what, y'all? And I'm not even talking about a decision like to invest in this amazing course that I sell. Because the fact of the matter is, right, you can invest in the course and still not decide. Another mic drop. You can invest in the course and still not decide. I'm going to share this and we'll move on, I promise. But you guys, I want to inspire you guys. Oftentimes, this is why I say testimonies, you guys, without context really means nothing. Oftentimes I will listen to webinars and I will listen to gatherings of people where the people are sharing testimonies. And as these testimonies are being shared, I'm like, oh, well, that person's been in the industry 10 years and that person's been in the industry 5 years. And that person, what I'm saying, nothing wrong with that, because that's fantastic, right? Just like me, that at some point we have figured things out, right? But oftentimes what's not being shared is how they figure things out, how they change things around, because it's never just because you got involved in a program or in a business opportunity or in an MLM network marketing deal. It's never because of that. It's because you decided, right, upon doing things differently. So where you'll see 10 or 15 people sharing their success stories, right, in these communities that have, hundreds of thousands of people, you guys, again, if we know the numbers now, 6%, that's great that we can showcase the people that are winning, as we should, right? Because they're an example. They give us hope, right? I hope I give you hope. But we also got to realize, right, there's a gang of people that either haven't decided, that have invested the money, yet they haven't decided, right? They haven't invested the money because they're scared, right? There's, again, 94% of people out there, right, that just haven't decided. They're just not plugging in. They're just not doing, right? My content consumption, Brian, exactly 100%, 100% fire, target, all of that. All right. So I'm going to share the tips with you today that have helped me. All right. That have helped me. So again, can we get off this thing that, everyone's earning six figures and it's just going to be easy and I can sit here and mull things over forever and I cannot take action on a weekly basis and think I'm just going to make it up somehow? It's already difficult enough, right? You might as well start gaining traction right now. You might as well start gaining traction right now and make your mind up that clearly the reason it's only 6% and only 18% overall for all earners is that clearly there's something to it that the masses are not willing to do. Something that the masses aren't willing to learn. Investments in time, energy, and money, the masses are not willing to make. Excuses the masses aren't willing to overcome or conquer. And we can keep just going on and on and on with this. All right, guys, grab your notebooks. All right. So growing to $10,000 a month fast, right? Selling digital products. Okay. I'm sharing my tips with you. Okay. What I focused on for the first part of this year so far. All right. Tip number one. All right. I locked in on the power of one. All right. One niche, one solution for that niche, one platform to market on, one product that I focus on selling, and 1 year. That 1 year, we can just take that off for me, right? But it's also important because anytime, and I'm gonna be real here, anytime things do rise up, I'm like, no, Steph, we're giving this digital marketing course with Master Riso Rights your full attention for a year. And really, we should add on there, instead of 1 year, let's do this, y'all. Let's do 1 million. Right? Because that's what the big guys say. That's what the experts that have, these $1 million businesses say, right? That you focus on the power of one until you get to 1 million. And all I can tell you is it is easier that way. It is easier because there are so many buying decisions that I haven't given into because I'm like, wait, that doesn't support my goal of focusing on this. Why do I need this tool? Why do I need this thing? Why do I need, why? And so I end up not making the investment because it doesn't support, right, my power of one. So not only am I making, right, really, really great money, but I'm keeping more of my money because I get to manage, right, what I actually invest in. There's gonna be a lot of gold in here, you guys. So you see why shiny object syndrome is costly? Do you see why confusion is costly? Do you see why having a chaotic mind is costly? Do you see why just wanting to make money is costly? Because anything that presents an opportunity to make money, why not invest in? Because this thing over here didn't work. No, boo-boo, you didn't work. You didn't do what the 6% do. And I've been really, really hard pressed to find someone that goes against, right, this belief, or that did something different when it comes to this. Y'all, even people I admire, like in the business opportunity space, right? There are two women I absolutely admire, and I'll call them up by name, Tammy Montgomery and Michelle O'Neill. These are two people where I love what they're doing. If that's just not the direction I want to go in, I don't want the business opportunity. However, I salute them. Like Tammy and I go way back, and we're really good friends, actually. But these are people that dug, like they have sold out for their direction. They've sold out for their product. They've sold out for what they do. It's the only way you reach these massive levels, right? Is you can't have monkey mind. You can't be all over the place. So literally, love those two. So you know them too, Tyra. If you've been around for any length of time, right? Like I don't mind, because there's no competition. If that's the business model you like, then those are just going to be the business models you like, right? We're in no competition. But yeah, and so it's like game recognizes game. You know what I'm saying? And so like those are like two women when I say on the lower end, because I do connect and I follow and I tap into people that have like Layla Hormozi. She's the first one that made me think about that. Right? Maria Wendt, right? I go over to her Instagram and it's always the same offer in her bio, right? Even though she's running ads, it's the same offer, the same offer, the same offer. So it's like the people that give me this advice, if I check in on them, right, they're doing the exact same thing, all right? So the power of one, y'all, is going to be your BFF, all right? Tip number 2, all right, become system dependent. Now, in my opinion, right, because I focus, and I don't want to take me out of it because I want you to understand like how all this came for me, right? The power of one, when I said, okay, one niche, the one niche thing alone and the one solution thing alone really solidified so much of what I do. It allowed my YouTube channel to take off and do better. Like it allowed everything to just be more cohesive because I was very clear on who I'm talking to and the problem that I'm solving. All right. And then again, the solution I'm giving them, there is no step out of everything you sell. What should I buy? Well, boo-boo, you don't know digital marketing. You're not making money. You don't have systems. You don't know marketing. The thing that I sell is what you need to buy. You need to buy the course. Right. And so I want you guys, Brian says, I even own Michelle O'Neill's program. Yeah, solid person, right? Even with that, right? And I would say, Brian, right, being in 2 programs, you still got to choose, right? You got to choose. Not that one's right or wrong, right? But again, if we want people to believe in us, trust us, follow us, have confidence in us, right? We don't want to muddy the waters. We want to be very definite. So it's like if I was like, I really want to learn from Michelle. Like she knows some things I don't know. I love knowing there's one path to get within her proximity. If I was like, you know what? I think this year I want to pick Tammy's brain. There's one path to get in her proximity. It makes it really, really easy for me to go and make the buying decision I need to make to learn from someone, right? Instead of like, oh, I have a gazillion different things and a gazillion different levels and all. No, I don't want that, right? Again, because the millionaires, the billionaires are saying, right? Power of one, right? Power of one. All right. So when I got clear on those things, especially the niche and the solution, right? Everything became easier, right? So with tip number 2, becoming system dependent began to be really easy for me. So when we talk about being system dependent, when I talk about being system dependent, it means on a weekly basis, right? There are very specific tasks and activities that run my business. All right. So it's kind of like your car is based upon, a bunch of systems, right? You turn the key and then things just fire. My business the exact same way. There are things that I do routinely every single week, regardless what it looks like, right? Whether I made $10,000 for the week or whether I goose egged the past 2 days, I'm not going to sit here trying to figure out why I goose egged. Did I do something wrong? Did I mess something up? Do I need to go harder? No, I learned how to focus on my system. And you guys, I'm telling you, right? February, just shy of 7,000. I'm sorry, January, just shy of 7. February, I hit over 10,000. I haven't come down from that. It's grown every single month to now 20,000. And it's all because I don't worry about what it looks like. I don't take like I'm not one of those people where I'm like, every single day I make a sale. That's not my reality at this point. I have many $1,000 days. I have many $1,500 days. I have many $2,000 days, right? And so clearly if you add that up, no, I'm not. If I have days like that, then I also have to understand at this phase, I just might have a goose egg day or two. But because I'm system dependent, right? What I do on a weekly basis, y'all write this down, does not fail me. Right? And so because I never take my eyes off of the system and I'm never sitting here trying to, monkey around. It's like, you have this beautiful car and you're like, it says it's supposed to get 44 miles to the gallon, but today I drove it to the grocery store and it only got 42 miles to the gallon. Let me get up underneath this hood and tinker around with it and figure out where this extra mile went. Y'all, that's what we call in the weeds in our business, right? That's what we call in the weeds. If you don't let that mile go, right, and keep driving the car, because I guarantee at the end of a week or the end of the month, you average it out, you would have averaged your 44 miles per gallon. Y'all, that was another mic drop. Another mic drop. So by being system dependent, right, I have a business where for all the opt-ins that I get throughout the week, right, now I'm actually up to 6%. I was at 5% for many months, now 6%. Why wouldn't I not be system dependent? If I know that my system is giving me a definite amount of sales for every person that opts in, why would I not? Right? So you got to figure out a system and you need to work the system no matter what it looks like. So any of y'all that started doing videos and you gave up, like, shame on you. Let's go back. Let's decide to be system dependent, because you're no closer to getting what you want because you gave up. You're no closer to getting what you want because you're changing gears. You're no closer to getting what you want, right, by thinking the solution's in another opportunity or investing your money someplace else. If you haven't worked a system, if you haven't worked a system that's talking to one niche, solving one solution on one platform, selling one product, and you haven't reached 1 million and you haven't been doing it a year, right? You're the problem at this point. You're the problem. And that, y'all, these are the conversations I had to have with myself, right? So I'm not trying to call anybody out, but that's how I had to put my big girl pants on, is by having these tough conversations with myself, right? Step number 3, or tip number 3. All right, y'all, this one was big for me. Big, big, big. All right, is I had to do it for myself first. I had to not put wanting to be a coach and wanting to be a mentor first and foremost in my business. That's where I messed up a lot when I was doing coaching, is I put my clients first. Everything was about them. If they fired me, I had no business. So with tip number 4, by doing it for yourself first, it means focusing on sales volume. Like literally being obsessed with making sales. Obsessed. And again, that goes back to if you're system dependent, right? And you're obsessed with making sales, and you know that your sales are going to come because you're working a proven, system, right? Now you're going to be that much more reliant and that much more consistent with that system that you are working. All right. So the system that I became reliant upon once I figured things out after like doing a lot of stuff, I finally got to a place where I realized the system that's working well for me is I do one video upload every week on Monday. I go live on Thursday to help me reconnect with people that opted in throughout the week or are new to my channel, right? And oftentimes those live streams produce results for me, meaning people decide to purchase because that's like just what they needed. They wanted me to go live. It was helpful, right? I go live on Saturdays, right? For Saturday school to connect with those that work full time that maybe didn't have a lot of time to consume content or hang out with me live on Thursday, right? I send emails to my email list all throughout the week. All right. Oftentimes I'll run promos, or I'm very strategic with when I send emails and again, we'll talk about all of this. All right. So being that that's what I do every single week, right, it produces the results in all the areas that I needed to produce so that the outcome of sales, right, is like certain. Not likely, is certain. So can you imagine getting to a place in your business where literally you're like, I'm not worried about sales, right? I'm not worried about sales. Not only is there enough money there, right? Because my business has been multiplying all this time, but my system does not fail. Now that's what this course did for me. It helped me move into this space of treating my business like an empire, treating my business like a 6-figure a month business, because that's where I'm headed. All right. So again, focused on sales volume again, because you guys, what I've seen a lot is that people, even like with this, so with this course, that's all I'm going to talk about right now, is this is a course you sell. This isn't a network marketing opportunity. It's not an affiliate deal, right? You don't have to have the things that I have, like mentorship for your people. I've been in the space a long time. So this takes, what I do takes nothing from me. But even with the elements I have in place, because they take nothing from me every single day, right? My highest priority is my system and making sales volume. Or I wouldn't be here as an example to y'all if I was worried about making one sale and then babysitting that one sale. Let me know if I'm speaking to y'all. So it's like you have to actually get selfish when you're getting this baby off the ground, right? Because you've got to focus on volumes of sales. Because even selling a $500 digital product, that's still 40, that's still 40 sales I have to make, right? 20 sales, right? For 10,000. So because I focus on my system and I know I got to focus on volumes, that's how I can look up and it's the 14th, 15th of the month. And I've already, called in 20 buyers. If I was focused on babysitting, because this is like, I'm treating this like network marketing, right? I'm severely slowing down my business. And guess what? Now I can't be an example to other people. I hope this is making sense, y'all, because I see a lot of people get caught up in this. All right. I'm going to say this, it's more of a mindset. It's not the way we treat people, but y'all got to be ruthless with your goals. Like you've got to be like, wait a second, I haven't hit my goals long enough. What do I have to do, right, to get to $10,000 months? Because one person's never going to be the reason for why you start having $10,000 months, right? 1-2 people will never. It's like we used to always say, right? One monkey doesn't stop a show, right? You've got to be focused on volume. And again, that's all going to come from being very system dependent. Tip number 4. All right. Firm believer in this, right? Be mentored by someone you're willing to learn from and model. Now, I cannot put enough emphasis on this because that's how I always grow. It's how I always learn, is by being inspired by what someone else is doing and then them like creating space for me to invest in their proximity, to learn not only from like what they're giving me, but to learn directly from them, their styles, their mannerisms, their way of showing up, their belief structures, right? Their mindset, everything, their strategy, right? Don't go in this all by yourself. Again, we already talked about only 6% of businesses will ever hit 6 figures. And amongst all the earners in the US, only 18% are earning 6 figures. So what makes us think we've never done it before, right? We haven't been consistent with it, that we're going to rely upon ourselves, or we're going to become an island, right? And think that I just have this great idea, right? And it's, why are we not being mentored and in people's spaces, right, that have already done it? And they've made room for us to actually learn from them. Again, doesn't have to be me. This is not what it's about. These are my tips. Right? That's why I do. And for anyone that works with me, right? Again, Veronica, as an example, she'll always hear me refer to, right? Like I picked this up from my mentor, right? I'm going to share this with you. It's been working for me. It's something my mentor, right? Like hit me onto. A lot of the things that I do, it's because my mentor had to like push me through, or I pushed myself through, because I realized what was working for her. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it myself. Tip number 5. Okay. Give call to, and this is no particular order. I was just writing down everything I could think of that's really contributed to, again, getting to $10,000 months, not dropping below it, right? And again, growing to $20,000 months. All right. I really hope this can help you guys get things in order for yourself and start looking at your business different, start doing your business different. Number 5, give call to actions every single day. All right. Gosh, it's kind of like I want to just blow through these because some of these things they work together. But one of the worst things that you can do is assume that someone knows what you sell. Assume they already read the email. Assume they already heard that video. The worst thing that you can do is assume that because you did it once or because you said it once, right, it's enough. No, when we talk about a call to action, as you're working your system on a weekly basis, every single thing that you do one way or another, you should be giving call to actions to make sure that anyone that's reading, watching, paying attention in your proximity, they know what it is that you're selling and they know how to go invest and either become a part of it, buy it from you, whatever. Not a day. If there's 31 days in the month, at a minimum, right, you should have given 31 call to actions. And in my opinion, it should be more like 90 call to actions. I believe if you're serious with growing to $10,000 months, right, that you should be giving call to actions multiple times, right, throughout your day. Whether that be through emails, through your content that's out there. Now imagine for a second, I'm going to go deep with y'all, right? You choose a platform like YouTube. And with every video that you do, it has the potential of being discovered for weeks and weeks and even months and months beyond when you did it. So as people are out there on a daily basis discovering you through all of this different video content, right? Those are call to actions that are happening on autopilot without you physically even having to give it. That's the certainty I have in my business, that every single day, even if I lost my voice, right? Call to actions are in fact going out because I have videos, right, that are being discovered every single day. I have emails that are automatically being fired off every single day, right? Even if I became paralyzed, right, with my hands and I couldn't type, there are emails that are automatically being fired off for me. And in every single email, a call to action is being given. Some of y'all won't even pick it up, but I give call to actions even once you've already spent money with me. There's always something more. There's always another call to action. But when we're being very intentional about the one thing that we're selling, not a day should go by where you're like, I definitely put it out there. Like people definitely know what I'm selling. They definitely know they should buy it, right? And then you get really, really good at your call to actions, right? Tip number 6, get in tune with your analytics. Do not be in the dark about what's going on in your business. This is something I did not take seriously early in my business, right? Now, when it comes to my analytics, again, I understand why my business is not a fluke. This is why I can tell you there's certainty, right? This is why I can tell you my business will not come down from $10,000 months. Like that is my set point at this point, right? Again, once I've hit 20,000, 2 more months in a row, right? I'll tell you, $20,000 months. That's not where my confidence lies right now. Don't you wish more people were real like that? Once I've done it for 2 more months in a row, right? I'll probably have some more tips to share with you guys at that point. But I'm confident that if you make these adjustments, you do the things I'm sharing today, that you will grow your business to $10,000 months much faster, right? Than a lot of people that are out there trying to figure this out, like literally recreating the wheel for no good purpose, for no good reason. So it's like you got to ask yourself, what are you fighting more for? Your goal of growing to $10,000 months, or your limitations, or, you know, the way you view things, you thinking that things should mold around you versus just getting in line with what's already working. I know that's tough, right? But that's what I had to do. I had to realize that just because I called myself and I felt like I was this inspired marketer, that the world wasn't molding around that to the degree that I wanted to grow, that I had niched down so much that literally not enough people could hear me. So I couldn't focus on sales volume. My business literally was like a trickle. So could I say that my approach worked? Yeah, it made me sales. It didn't get me here though. Y'all, am I helping you here? There's no reason to recreate the wheel when there are people, programs, systems, trainings, all kinds of stuff out there that all you have to do is decide to invest in them, right? Just one. And again, decide to start implementing these tips in your business. All right. So with my analytics, right? Again, that's how I know nothing's a fluke. That's how I can tell people, like, you're not going to grow on YouTube the way you're doing things, because I know what the analytics say. I know how the analytics work. I know how YouTube works. Do we ever truly know? No, but I can tell you how I've grown. I can tell you when I know things are going good and bad, right? I can look at my system.io account. That's how I know exactly what my conversion rates are. That's how I have all this certainty in my business, right? Because again, the analytics are there for us, right? I had someone yesterday, they left a comment, and I don't know if they deleted it or if I accidentally deleted it, I don't know, but it was a really great comment. And it's like, they were like, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong, right? I'm putting out content, I'm getting hundreds of views, right? My products are this, my products are that. And I'm like, I wanted to say, oh, that's where you got to stop. Your products don't matter. If you're telling me people aren't making it over to your websites, how awesome your products are don't matter. That is why our analytics are so important, because they will tell us where the breakdown is or where the success is happening inside of our business. Doesn't matter how intuitive we think we are, how inspired we think we are, right? Analytics just simply don't lie, and they are a telltale sign of what's going on, right? So I don't care whether you're like, well, Steph, like, I'm just really new to this. Still, you need to acquaint yourself with the analytics. You need to know what they look like. What is a baseline for you, right? For your account, for wherever it is right now, whatever platform, right? Because here's the thing. If there is not growth from an analytics standpoint, like, for example, if I didn't do something to grow my YouTube channel, my email list would not have grown. My email list doesn't grow. My sales volume doesn't grow. Do you guys see, is this making sense? Like, it's not rocket science, but I clearly know, like, these things need to be pointed out to people. And that's why I love this digital marketing course that I sell, right? Is because it helps you learn about all of those things. We're not here to teach you the trends. We're here to teach you the fundamentals, right? Of how to actually grow an online business, literally, like, from the start. So you know to look at all these things. You know all these things are important. Like, you at least have an understanding or an idea that I should be doing these things. Y'all, I was many, many years in my business before I knew to take things like analytics serious. I thought analytics were for, like, the Frank Kern guys and the Russell Brunsons and the people that, had millions and millions of views and followers. I didn't think the small people had to worry about analytics. Why? Again, because I was limping by sale, right? I was trying to do instead of work systems. Y'all write that down. I was making every sale happen. Where when I started tuning into analytics, I learned how to create a system that ushers sales in on autopilot while I'm sleeping, while I'm living my life. I hope these tips can help you guys. Tip number 7, focus on email growth, because this gives you another opportunity to sell. Okay. I'm awesome at live selling. I'm awesome at selling directly from my content. However, I would be missing out on so much money if I was not building my own email list. Remember what I said? Even if I didn't have the ability to physically sit down and send an email, because I'm growing an email list, and that email list, right? Every person opts in automatically is going to get like some 20 odd emails from me over the span of 20 days because I have a campaign that's automatically in place. Well, y'all, matter of fact, Lois will attest to this. She's like, I had to buy from you, Steph, because when I saw how your business was set up and flowing, she's like, I wanted that for myself. Because I walk the walk, I'm showing people what it's like to have a business like this. Like, she was fascinated. She was like, how did you get all those? Did you send those emails out automatically? Did they go out? Like, how does that work? Right? So you want to be growing an email list from the get-go, right? From the get-go. Because again, without having to dive too deep, because again, in the course, you're going to learn all about email marketing. You're going to learn how to put together welcome email campaigns. You're going to learn how to do email marketing in terms of sending newsletters. You're going to learn how to create messaging and content that speaks very directly to the people that are on your email list. Like, all of these are skills and strategies that you have to learn, right? I'm just here to tell you the tips that have made a difference in me growing to $10,000 months. Y'all, so because I have an email list, which I will tell you, you choose your product correctly, you'll likely experience a lot of sales where it's like they become aware of you and they opt in to get the information, but then they quickly turn into a sale. That happens a lot in my business. But there are some instances now, right, since I've been doing this longer, where there are people that requested information in January and February, and they're just now buying today. I lose that opportunity. I lose that sale, right, if I don't have an email list, right? If I'm not communicating with them, building know, like, and trust, staying in front of them, right? And I can share this story based upon this tip, and one tip I'm going to share in a little bit. But literally one person, and I'm sorry, I don't remember their name, but it was someone this week, right, where because I have an email list and I strategically send out emails before certain things, right, and you're going to see where this tip comes into play later. I sent the email, even though my mind was kind of like telling me, no, Steph, I think you sent enough. Because I sent that email, that was the email that someone decided to purchase. And they said, you know what, I've been on your email list for months, and I just decided, pretty much it was like they decided, what the heck, let me go ahead and buy today. I don't have an email list. I miss those opportunities. I don't have, so when you hear people say things like, no one's checking their email, that's a lie. That's a whole lie. Are people buying straight from social media content? Absolutely. Like, let's not say anything is dead, but you are lying, or you're being tricked or deceived if you are believing that email marketing is dead. People absolutely check their email. They absolutely click on the links in their email. They absolutely make buying decisions based upon their emails. So again, we're talking about, right, in this instance, selling a $500 digital product, right, 20 sales to make $10,000 in a month, right? Every sale matters. You want it to actually stack, right? You don't want to take away sales opportunities just for the sake of not having an email list. Because when you invest in this course, all the excuses go away for what you don't know how to do. We teach you all of these things in the course, so you never have to say, I don't have an email list because I don't know how to have an email list. I don't know how to email my list. I don't know. That goes away. Y'all, am I making a case without even making a case for like why you need this course? Why I sell it? Why I chose this to be the one product I'm focused on selling? Tip number 8. Be obsessed with growing your audience daily, right? There's not a lot of things I like to say obsess over. I obsess over sales volume, and I obsess over growing my audience daily. So me working my system on a weekly basis, that ensures that I'm growing my audience every single day. Let me share with you guys what this means. So YouTube, right? Fantastic. Love this thinking platform. It's my platform of choice. But what I love is that when I got serious about, again, the tips that I've shared here, getting serious about my niche, doubling down, that one problem I'm solving and I'm speaking to in all of my content, I went into the year, I don't even think I knew to look at that point. But I would probably go on record to say I didn't have any trending content. All right. Trending content is content where once you've created it, right, weeks and months have passed and it's still gaining views. Well, now to this day, I think I have 10 or 12 videos that I created weeks and months ago that steadily get me views every single day. So it means I don't have to be so reliant upon doing a banger to get thousands of views. Yes, I still want that and I still strive for that. But I'm being discovered every single day by brand new people that are discovering various video content that's out there. That is one area where I am obsessed with, because if I don't get obsessed with growing my audience, guess what? My email list doesn't grow. My email list doesn't grow, right? Sales are not likely. So if you're going to be obsessed with anything, okay, especially in your beginning phases, when maybe you don't have an audience, you don't have an email list, like you don't have the assurity that even if you don't grow your email list today, that you still have an email list where sales could come from, you got to get obsessed with audience growth, right? You've got to, in fact, know like every day a certain amount of people, right, are discovering you. Again, why your analytics, again, are so important. That is why I can say things I know on a daily basis, right? High hundreds to thousands of brand new people are discovering me. I know from every piece of content how many are unique viewers, meaning it's the first time they've ever consumed any of my content. Yeah, that stuff's important to know, right? You know, you hear people talk about I'm in the 200 views, realm on TikTok. It's safe to assume it's probably the same 200 people every single day for the most part. If you don't know that they're not unique, it's like you're spinning your wheels, right? It's like you're sending an email to the same 200 people every day. So it's like, you've got to know, okay, even though, would you feel better knowing my content on TikTok is only getting 200 views? However, right, for the 200 views, I know 75 are unique every day. That can be pretty inspiring to know that at least 75 are unique, right? So you have to become obsessed. For me, again, I became obsessed with growing my audience. Do you see why you have to become selfish to get your business off the ground? Because there's a lot of things that you've got to focus on, that you got to know about, you got to pay attention to. There's a lot of areas you've got to be really, really intentional. Tip number 9, create repeatable processes and flows, right? So again, the system that I work in my business, okay, I remember hearing my mentor say this. He said, if you can't do it forever, don't do it for a day. And he might've got that from a book or something, I'm not sure, right? If you can't commit to doing it forever, don't do it for a day. So in my business, I don't undertake anything that can't be turned into a repeatable system or flow. So again, getting to $10,000 months, why I was satisfied, even though I didn't hit my 6-figure goal for first quarter, is I'm like, I could have done a lot of stuff to have earned 6 figures in first quarter, but how much of it would have been repeatable, right? Would that have set me up to do 200,000, right, in quarter 2? Likely not. Right? So it's like, by literally taking my time and doing things very fundamental, right? Once I hit 10,000, what next month, what was a $14,000 month? Where can a girl like me go? We know only 6% of business owners are earning $100,000 or more a year. I didn't create a fluke, right? Like, praise God that I decided to get a real handle on my business, right? From 14,000, right? The next month being able to do, again, just, I think it was like 20,000 and some change. Not a fluke. Why? Because everything in my business, it's repeatable. I know that I can repeat the video every Monday. I know that I can commit to going live every Thursday. I know that I can commit to going live on Saturdays. I know that I can send emails, right? Because I don't have to physically send them. I can set them up and schedule them, right? If I'm going to have a beach day, or if if I'm like, I don't want to wake up early tomorrow, but I want an email to go out at 9 o'clock, right? I can write it the night before, schedule it, and it goes out. You guys, this is eye-opening. So there's not one thing in my business that's not repeatable. Therefore, that's why I can say things like, I don't see a month of coming down from $10,000 months, because everything in my business is repeatable, right? My systems are repeatable. My flows are repeatable. I'm not going to do anything that I know I can't do or won't do forever. Another reason why I pivoted from coaching, the reality was I was going to have to constantly launch, right? I was going to have to constantly chase clients. So like knowing again the things I know now, I'm like, that's why that business model was so broken for me, because I couldn't see myself doing that forever. I think y'all can actually tell I would do this forever. But my husband always tests me, right? Because he's bought some coins and stuff out there, right? And he's like, when the coins drop, right? Will you still do what you do? The thing is, he knows I would still do what I do because I need someone to talk to this stuff about, right? I need the Tyras, I need the Lois, I need the Veronicas, I need the Bryans, right? I need the Devons. I need someone to share this stuff with because I don't do this to make money. I do this to help people, and because I help people and I inspire people, I make the money. So another tip when it comes to your niche, love your niche, love the people of your niche, love serving the people of your niche, because you got to have a message for them all the time. You got to have conversations with them. You've got to be their inspiration. You've got to be who they look up to. You've got to be their resource. Don't do it for the money, right? Do it for the love of something other than. And I know there are some people that, speak opposition to that, and that's fine. But there are so many people that are struggling because they don't have a word for the people. They're not reaching enough people. You love your niche, you'll always have a word for them, right? So again, repeatable systems, repeatable flows. When I was in the coaching realm, this was way back in 2020, right at COVID. My infamous $26,000 week. Right, I did a week-long workshop and I launched the mentorship program. I made $26,000 that week. And again, the big fallacy was I didn't quickly get with my assistant and say, how do we repeat this? So like that was an instance where it's like I made really great money in a week. It wasn't repeated the next week. It wasn't repeated the next month. It was repeated one other time. So it's like we all can do things to make money. I don't know what kind of money you want, right? But I want a little bit more of a freedom-based money for myself, freedom-based income. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm gotta turn my fan on. Okay, it's getting toasty in here. First I was cold, now it's toasty. All right, so repeatable systems and flows. Is this being helpful, you guys? This is helping you. Devon said, started the course 2 days ago, learning a lot. As the introvert that I am, my desire is not to create YouTube videos. I came into this space to do faceless digital products starting on Instagram, and you absolutely can. You absolutely can. There are people that are for sure doing that and winning, right? It's all marketing. It's all, again, these tips are fundamental tips. It's still your faceless account is going to be driven by a niche. You're building it for a niche of people, a group of people. You're solving a problem for that group of people, right? You're selling them something that's going to help them when they encounter your Instagram account. Do you know what I'm saying? You still have to show up for them, not you physically, but you have got to create content that shows up for them, right? So it's like none of this is respective of YouTube, no matter what platform you're on, right? These tips are fundamental. As you guys can tell, I'm not a very trendy, like, what's going on in the moment. I'm very fundamentally based, right? Because again, I need to know that what I'm doing and creating is sustainable. If I wanted to go, entertain going faces on Instagram, I could, because it's all the same. I would just have to learn how to not be me and convey me through content, right? That's faceless, that's going to reach and connect with people. Same thing though, right? Same thing, right? Number 10. Okay, I talked about this a little bit later, but it's an intentional tip. You guys, you got to assume that no one saw it or heard it. So when I got this from Grant Cardone many, many months ago, and it's never left me. It changed the way that I created my business. So when I shared that story of how there is an email that I strategically send out to my list every single week, in this instance, I had sent it out Monday night, and I was like, I second guessed myself. I'm like, on Tuesday, I'm like, should I send it out again? And someone's like, yeah, like, again, that whole idea came back, assume no one saw it, right? And so I had a couple of choices. I could have sent it out to my unopens, right? But I'm like, nope, everyone's going to get it. Literally, that's the email where the person clicked, they purchased, and they emailed me and said, I've been on your email list for months, right? Just decided today, why not? So you guys see how a lot of times what goes on up here, right? Like it's trying to rob us of success. It's trying to take things away from us by telling us you've done it too much. You're going to appear spammy. Let me know if any of these things have ever crossed your mind. They're going to think that I'm all about the money. They're going to think I'm being salesy. How do I do this without being salesy? All those things, you guys, they are coming into your mind to literally rob you of success. Right? Some of y'all that are out there that won't invest in the course, you've honestly told yourself you don't have the money. You've honestly told yourself you don't have the money. Or you've told yourself, I've already invested in so many things. Right? If that's the case, then stop hanging out, stop listening, stop saying that you're a part of this space, right? If you're not going to decide to really be a part of this space and make the decisions of it. Y'all, I'm telling you, these are tough conversations we got to have with ourselves. Right? Because I think we've all reached a point where we've wanted to give up, or we've thought enough was enough. Right? But again, y'all, there's a reason why only 6% of businesses will ever reach six figures. They simply think differently. They make different decisions. They choose differently. Right? They just are different. Are you going to be different? Yeah, assume no one saw it and no one heard it. Literally, this has probably been one of the biggest tips, because I was one of those people where I'm like, I don't want them to think I'm spammy. Well, what if I send it and then someone unsubscribes? Here's a big mindset hack. All right. Here's a big mindset hack. And Devon, this might help you, right? Since you said it's a good tip, right? And anyone else. All right. Is when we're assuming that no one saw it, right? Or, oh my gosh, hold on a second. Just lose my thought. When we assume that no one saw it, right? Or no one heard it, right? What that gets, number one, is you're taking more action inside of your business, right? Like you're in fact going to do more, right? It's going to help you actually produce more thoughts. I just produce more results. I've lost my thought. It's going to come back to me though. I forget what it was, but yeah, that tip is big. Right? So when I started assuming, wait, no one saw it, no one heard it, it allowed me to get it back and, this is what I was going to say. When we have thoughts like, and let me know, y'all been around for a while, right? You might have had these thoughts. Oh, they're going to unsubscribe, right? That was one of my biggest fears. Well, if they unsubscribe, then I lose the opportunity to connect with them further. Your people, again, if we're talking about we're building a niche, right? People that know, like, and trust you, all these individual things. No one, please know this. You have to have the confidence in this. No one meant to buy from you is going to unsubscribe because they received too many emails. They just won't. They simply won't. It's impossible. They will not. If they are meant to buy from you, they will not unsubscribe, no matter how many emails you send. They just will not open the ones they don't have time for, or that don't call out to them, or just might go to their spam instead, of they'll never see it. So if you always understand that your business is only available for the people that are going to buy from you, then you've got to show up as if in everything that you do. And you got to switch your mindset from, I don't want to annoy them. I don't want to be salesy. I don't want to come off spammy. What if they unsubscribe, to instead, again, let's say Tyra was my ideal person, right? That was the name of my ideal person and everything. Instead, I reframe that. Well, I've got to send this out again, because what if Tyra didn't open the email? What if it got buried in all the other emails? Tyra needs to know that I'm offering this. Tyra needs to know I'm going live. Tyra needs to know that this is for sale. That when you switch your mindset, oh baby, you make so much more money. Because over my 16 years, I can't tell you how many times, right? Somebody will say, oh my gosh, Steph, I'm so glad that you sent the email again, because I missed the first 7 times you said you sent it. There have been people where I would do sales where it's like it started off with for the first day, $77. The next day, $97. This is when I was in my coaching realm, right? And I remember one lady in particular, her name was Stacy, right? She's like, oh my God, Steph, even though I'm buying this at a higher price, I didn't see the other emails for the other price points. Right? I don't know why she didn't see it. But because my mindset is, I don't want, again, basically, essentially, I don't want anyone to miss this. I got to assume you didn't see it, right? Because I just believe, Tyra, you're too smart. If you saw this, you'd have taken action. That's my mind, right? So I assume no one sees. I assume no one hears. This also saves me in my content. That's why I'm repetitive in my content. We'll talk about this in just a minute, right? I'm repetitive in my video content. Because I'm really not there for the repeat person. That's great if you come back, but I'm here to be expansive, right? And even though you might have watched, I still can't tell you again. Even Veronica, she's like, Steph, oh my gosh, I think you've said this for the past 6 months, but I'm just now hearing it. I'm just now getting it, right? So I'm telling you, again, it's just a reframe. Instead of, I don't want to be salesy. My thing is, when you say things like that, what you're saying is you don't care that much about helping your person, because your person will never think you're being salesy. You understand how that's impossible, right? I give tough love to Veronica sometimes, again, as an example, because she's right here, right? And I work with her a lot. And it's like, sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, did I go like too hard on her on this area? But then guess what? Veronica will come back and say, oh my gosh, Steph, that was just like, she comes back and her mind's not even thinking I gave her tough love or that I was coming down hard on her, because she's not trying to receive it as such. She's not trying to be triggered or receive it as me being any way outside of being helpful. And then I'm only telling her this to be helpful. If I was worried about her getting her feelings hurt, I mean, clearly I don't just say anything I want. That's not all what I'm saying, right? But if I was worried about, oh my gosh, her feelings are gonna get hurt, then I'm not really in this for her. I don't think she can take the truth about whatever the matter is. So I can never offend Veronica. You see what I'm saying? I can never offend people on my email list if they're supposed to be a buyer. And that's all that I care about, are the buyers. That's all I care about. That's all any business cares about, is the buyer. Tyra said, I'm smart now. All right. Tyra says, what God has for you is for you. But that's the thing. When you understand that, right? So it's like in this instance, right, getting to $10,000 months and knowing that your business is never available for dropping below that, that means if you sell a $500 digital product like I do, and we know that's 20 customers, right, a month, it means that those 20 customers are already out there. That is how I can be. You guys, do you see how all of this works together? I can't have one without the other. I can't be reliant upon a system without also knowing that every customer for the month to support my business is already out there. Before I knew Devon was a thing, my content was already out there, ready to welcome Devon when she discovered me. Devon was meant to buy from me months ago when I was creating content, but I didn't even know her. I can't be system dependent. If I'm hoping, wishing, and praying for customers and buyers, I'm system dependent because I know that Tyra is already out there. Devon is already out there. The buyer is already out there. Every buyer I need to support my goal for the month is already out there. It's easy to be system dependent that way. It's easy to act as if they didn't hear, because what I care most about is the fact that Devon did hear me, so that she could take action, that Tyra did hear me, so she could take action. I don't care about the 5 or 6 that might have unsubscribed. Y'all write this down. They were never going to buy from me anyways. They were never going to buy from me anyways. I'm okay with losing them to make sure the message reached the person it was supposed to reach. I hope I didn't go too deep, y'all, but again, like, these are the tips. And some of these tips, it's hard not to dive deeper in so you really understand why they work, right? Why they work. All right, number 11. That number 10, though, assume no one saw. Again, Grant Cardone is someone else I've invested a great deal of money into, and I've just learned so much. Right? Again, you guys, because you guys know I'm all about business. I don't need to stop. Doesn't have to be digital marketing. I am all about business sense, good business. He's the one also, this next one came from him as well. Right? Number 11, go wide and let your message sort them out. Right? You guys, there's this conflict out there between people, right? Do I niche down? You can. right? It's going to take so much more to reach your levels. Yes. Lois said, stay deep. It's kind of where I live. It's kind of where I live. But go wide. Go wide in your niche. All right? Go wide. Appeal to the people that want to know a thing. And then let your messaging, the words that come out of your mouth, right? The reels that you create, the emails that you send, the videos that you create, what you actually say, let the message sort them out. Y'all, let me tell you something. I go wide in my content, but I'm amazed at the people it calls in. I don't have to be specific with calling in a certain kind of person in my titling because my message sorts them out. But at least I get to hedge the bets and bring in volumes of eyeballs. I get volumes of content, views on my videos. That's what we all need. Y'all, hitting on less than 100 views on videos on YouTube, slow, stinking growth. I was there. It was painful. It sucked because I couldn't understand. My content is so good. Why is it not reaching more people? Because it's not about how good my content was. I wasn't focused on reaching more people because I was trying to niche down. Grant Cardone said it best. He said, if you want to go big, you got to go wide. You got to go broad. He's like, there is no growth in shrinking. And it made so much sense when he said it, right? And then I'm the one that added on, go broad in your niche, right? And let your messaging sort them out. So when someone is like, yes, I want to learn about making money, selling digital products, let them click. But if being a God girl, right, tosses them away, then so be it. If the fact that I was a nurse calls them in, so be it. If the fact that we have the same color skin and they dig that, so be it. If me being loud and who I am calls them in, then so be it. I don't have to have a business for nurses or for God girls or for women of color. Why? Because my business has all people in it. I allow my messaging to make someone decide whether or not they want to be in my space based upon the topic and the solution I offer. So I speak very broad to the topic. I bring someone into my space. And then it's like, once they're there, they can decide, oh yeah, I want to learn from that girl. Right? It's like Devon popped on Thursday night conversation. She purchased the course that night right after Thursday night conversation. And you know what she said in the comments? I just discovered you. I think she said this week. And I was binging all of your videos today. Yeah, I don't create short videos. So I don't know what Devon was out there searching for, but I know it has to be related to either the course by name or digital products, making money, something around that. And when she came across my content, the rest was over. She discovered me that day, you guys. That day. Messaging, right, sorted her out. So biggest tip is I had to decide, right? I had to decide to go broad, talk about the things that people of this niche want to know. And then let my messaging sort them out. Let my messaging call them in. Let my messaging throw back the people that are not meant to do business with me, that don't want to do business. That's the power of the internet, freedom of choice. We get to choose who we buy from. She said she binged all my videos. That's a lot. That's a lot of talking. Right? Probably one of my biggest tips as well. All of these things you guys contributed to me growing to $10,000 a month fast. And again, building the momentum, right, to sustain it and to continuously grow every single month. Again, that momentum part. All right. Don't shoot yourself in the foot by shrinking down. There's no growth in shrinking. It is a very, very slow process. Okay. Give yourself the advantage. All right. Because you just don't know what you're going to say in that content that's going to make someone say, wait a second. Did you say you're 50 years old? Right? Well, why do you think I get emails when people are like, I'm 52, I was a nurse, right? I retired, right? So much of what I say, they resonate with. So it's like the topic brought them to me, but then my messaging really connected us and made me their go-to. Number 12, okay, last tip. I really hope this has been helpful, you guys. I'm sorry it's coming to an end. Number 12. This is a toughie, but it's also one of my favorites, and it's something I had to grow to be accustomed to. Boring wins. I'll say it again. Boring wins. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Become the voice they cannot shake. Boring wins. When you do, okay, again, you got to put it all together. You got to understand, I didn't make this stuff up. It's just, it all works together. I can't have one without the other. Because I became system dependent, because my mentor got me to see that's what I had to rely upon, right? And he got that from Atomic Habits. We don't rise to the level of our goals. We fall to the level of our systems. If you're not where you want to be right now, you likely don't have a well thought out system. You likely have really big goals. You want a lot of good things. You have a lot of really great ideas. You want to go big places, but your business is not backed by a solid system. You're only going to rise to the level of your system. So when I created my system, right, I began to work my system, y'all, do you think there haven't been weeks where I'm like, I talked about that already in my video? But I find a different way to say it, a different spin on it, a different slant on it, a different context around it. There's so many instances, y'all, where like literally, Devon, you're going to laugh. On Thursday, I didn't want to go live. It was just one of those days. I was like, I just want to like chill with my hubby. Right? But I went live, y'all, and 2 people. Devon being one and someone else being another. They bought that night because I was live. See, again, because I'm reliant upon my system, right? No matter how I feel, I work my system, the results take care of itself. That would have been a huge judge and error in judgment to not go live because I didn't feel like it. That's a whole $1,000 error in judgment. I couldn't have called it, like I wouldn't have known. But when you become system dependent, trust me, things do get boring. But boring, y'all, there's not anyone I know that's making 6-figure months. They might be excited about their niche and excited about what they sell, but the very act of growing their business and doing the things they do on a weekly basis, it is boring because it is the same. It's repeat, repeat, repeat. Devon said, but God. You see, that's like, I hope that can be an example. I don't always feel like doing. But when I say I'm system dependent, I'm not saying that to just say it. That's how I make the money. Y'all, that's a whole $1,000. And then I woke up the next morning to someone else that had instantly bought while I was sleeping. I don't know whether it was because I went live or whatever, but because I'm system dependent, the results sort themselves out. I don't not go live because I've made enough money, and I don't not go live because, oh my gosh, I wonder if this is working. No, it's all going to work for me. It is all working for me. Matter of fact, it can only work for me. Mic drop right here, y'all, because I do work my system. Right? Let's keep the horse before the cart. It can only work for me because I do work my system. So I want you embed this in your head. Repeat, repeat, repeat. All right? Have a boring business. It means you're doing the right things. Right? It means you're paying attention to your analytics and you're doing more of what your analytics is telling you is getting you results. If you're talking to your niche and your videos are growing, right, you need to say it again in a different way. You need to keep doing it because clearly YouTube or whatever platform you're on is telling you that people like this. We enjoy throwing your content out because if people are watching, they're clicking. So you do more of it. You just figure out a different way to say it, a different spin on it, different context, different slant, right? Share a result, share someone else's result, whatever. Get creative. Because ideally, right, because you're being system dependent, repeat, right? You want to become the voice in your niche or to your ideal person, where in your mind, you're like, they can't unhear me, right? Devon binged watch my content, right? She likely can't unhear me. You guys are worried about saturation. I hear people talk about this. It's impossible for me to become saturated. Now, if I'm trying to win the Roadmap 3.0 game, yeah, we might see where that could get a little bit saturated. It's why I don't do a bunch of content on Roadmap 3.0. Because guess what, y'all? I'm only going to share this, and it's not to deter, but it's to teach you guys a valuable lesson about why you want to brand yourself, why you want to be the voice, why you want to be the reason. Because it's low-hanging fruit. But all I know, there were two people, the two people that bought, Devon being one, and she's here, she got a test. She literally said, I was going to buy from someone else, but I came across your video. And you saw what she said. She binge watched my content. She bought from me. So on one hand, you can say, well, that stinks, right? We're in competition with each other. No, we're not. No, we're not. You're only in competition with each other. I don't even include myself in that. If you're trying to win the Roadmap 3.0 game, if you're trying to win any product name, if you're trying to win the low-hanging fruit game, oh yeah, baby, then you will be in competition. Because now you're vying for people that are looking for someone to purchase from. When you can become someone's logical choice by being the brand, by being the personality, by being the message, right? That solves a solution at the topic level. Well, there's never going to be competition for me. There's never going to be competition for you as individuals. Again, why the course is so important, because amateurs will purchase the course, not learn about branding, not learn about messaging, get out there and just try to sell the course as the course, and wonder why they're getting all of the ridiculous questions and people are feeling them out and all this stuff, because you're not the logical choice. When you learn how to brand yourself, right, do business in a certain way, you become the niche ideally. You become the logical choice. No saturation, no competition. Another reason I make a case for this course. Because when you put all of these things together, you create a well-oiled machine, you become better. You don't wish it was better. Like Jim Rohn said, don't wish it was better, or don't wish it was easier. Wish that you were better. You make yourself better by gaining the knowledge, gaining the skills, growing some business acumen, becoming valuable to your niche. I'm telling you, the money will come. I bought from the wrong person at first and then found stuff. Y'all, do you hear this? I can't make this up. I didn't know Tyra had bought from someone else first. Y'all, so these are the tips. These are the tips that help me grow to $10,000 months and to create a business that I've been trying to create for so many years. This is a feel-good business to me, y'all. But as you can see, it's backed by consideration. It's backed by strategy. It's backed by thoughtfulness, mindfulness, intention, being deliberate. I didn't luck up. This isn't a fluke. I'm sincere when I say I don't see a month coming down from this, because $10,000 happens too fast every single month at this point. Right now, it's just beating my best. And y'all, these are the tips that have helped me. These were the action steps. These were the things that I considered, that I got intentional around, that I created systems and flows and processes around. These are the things that I preached to myself. These were the things I used to talk me down when I wanted to make an investment that wasn't in my best interest. This is how I got focused on this. And I even though I love my digital store, I'm like, Steph, you can't do both to the degree that you want to do them. I spend so much time, again, I'm sharing this because We don't all get it perfect sometimes. Sometimes we got to do things, experience things, and realize, wait a second, right? That might be taking me off my mark. Will there be a time and a place where it will all make sense for me? It will. But I truly believe that 6-figure months, right, is on deck for me if I just keep doing what it is that I'm doing. Why not? I can't see why it wouldn't. Nothing about it makes sense in terms of why it wouldn't. So staying true, right, to my own tips, to my own business plan, right? Let me give you the call to action, right? Literally, y'all, this is the course that put it all in perspective for me. This wasn't the course that taught me digital marketing. Okay. I knew digital marketing. I knew the business of online business. I'm not new to this, right? But I sucked at this clearly. Clearly, there were some dots that were not connecting. And I figured it out. This course put things in perspective for me and literally allowed me to get my act together. Have I been talking to you today? Please let me know. Have I been talking to you today? I really, really hope so, because when I decided this was the direction I wanted to go today, all I knew was, yeah, like I would have so been down for this when I was first getting started. This is what I would have loved to have heard, because it would have allowed me to understand the end and to bypass all the other junk, to go ahead and be decisive, to invest where I need to invest, to just get on board with this. And I encourage you. I believe this, and I believe the live I did on Thursday. Literally, this is not to toot my own horn, but I was listening to my live on Thursday, the replay, and I'm like, my thought really was, people need to listen to this every day. I truly believe it's one of those, you listen daily, your business will change. Heck, your life will probably change. So if you didn't watch Thursday's live stream, please go and watch it. I really believe like it's a daily thing, drive time, whatever. If you do it daily, like it's just going to get you in that way of doing what you got to do to make it possible for you, to make it happen for you. All right. So literally, I invite you to grab this course as well and allow yourself to win big this year. All right. You really, really can change things in the next 90 days. If you really, really want to, and if you really decide. And I do believe you have to want to, like you got to really, really want to, right? And then you have to decide that there is just no other option. Who would have thought that in May that we'd be processing going out and buying a brand new car cash? I didn't. Our mind was made up. Our expedition's been paid off for many, many years. Like we have goals. We downsized last year, right? Like I'm living someplace probably I wouldn't have chosen it, right? But we downsized intentionally last year, right? I had a moment of having to get over it, but then I quickly realized, God, you have us where you need to have us. Because do you know what it felt like to me? If you're here for it, like stay with me. I might really help you. I literally felt like, even though it wasn't a back against the wall moment, it felt back against the wall for me. And I'm like, oh no, I got to fight for what it is that I want. Right. And this part, probably a part of my story, some of y'all haven't heard because I haven't shared it in this way. Some people knew I downsized, right? Because our kids were grown. We didn't need the house that we were in anymore. Downsize, right? And so now when we downsize, we knew our focus was once our daughter goes off to law school, that's when we go and we build our forever house. Like we have a whole plan, right? But so we're like, okay, so knowing we have all these things to do, our car has been paid off for many years, right? We'll keep it going. No car payment. Like who loves no car payments, right? And oh my gosh, this is just coming back to my remembrance. Oh my gosh. So last year sometime, we kept talking about new car. And I told my husband, I cannot believe this is just coming back to me. I told my husband, I said, we're not going to ever have a car payment again. I said, I fully believe that when it's time for us to buy a car, we will pay cash. I said, because I don't see why we have to have a car payment. Y'all, that's what's happening right now. That's literally what's happening right now. Because we just got to a point where to get something fixed is going to be it's going to cost more than like the value of the car, right? And because we've had it forever, literally forever. What a blessing. And I believe that's why that's how good things happen. Our old paid off expedition has been such a blessing because we've always had the money to maintain it, right? We've never had to like go buy something because she broke down on us. And I think because we were always so grateful, especially me, because I'm kind of the one where it's like I get a hoity-toity like, but I was grateful. I was grateful because things could have been worse if I did have a car payment also that we had to focus on when things were getting kind of crappy. But I so vividly remember telling my husband, I'm like, when it's time to buy a car, like I don't see why we can't buy cash. It's just crazy, you guys. Right? So I believe you have to want it. But then again, you have to decide. And when I made this pivot, right, and this course landed in my lap, and I got a fresh perspective on how I needed to walk the walk. I just couldn't sell it because I was good at digital marketing. I sold it better and I sold more when I became a real product and when I had a real story around like how this doggone course like literally saved my business. So when I decided, I was like, we're not losing anymore. Not that I felt like we had lost, but it was just kind of like, this is my time to do in my business what I should have been doing. And it for whatever reason, that's what this course was for me. Right? Spoke that right into it. Yeah, like I had to, isn't it funny? Like you forget things like that. Like I forgot. And Veronica, because you've been with me for a while, what have I been saying all year long? That everything that I set in motion last year, everything I said, and clearly things I even forgot, have been manifesting. Have been manifesting. And you guys, I'll give you my biggest tip of all. And God forgive me for not thinking about putting this on here. Is that I learned how to be grateful, but this was long ago. I learned how to be grateful for the resources, the tools, and the opportunities that God already placed in my life. And so instead of showing up every single day and praying for success or praying for like financial blessings, I was just grateful over all the opportunities he had given me, because what that did is it put me in a space of deciding to do something with them. It's like, why ask God to bless my business when the blessings are going to come from my doing, right? Because faith without works is dead. So because I was grateful that, wow, like God, you saw fit that the roadmap fell into my lap. God, you saw fit that, that circumstance would present itself, right? Where I would need to lean on you more, that I would need to understand, right? That I would need to remember where it all comes from. I would need to remember these things. And then to be thankful that, wait a second, I have a mind for business. Thank you, God, right? You've given me a voice. You've given me inspiration. You've given me a platform, right? You've given me all of these things. So who am I to now say, right? Bless me with the finances, bless me with the customers. No, it's time for me now to do something with that which I said I was thankful for and grateful for, to show up and show out in my business, right? And to call in my customers. Y'all, I'm telling you, probably biggest tip of them all. Biggest tip of them all. So no, I don't kumbaya my way to success. I don't pray my way to success. Right? Because literally when I did pray, God did make sure that I had what it is that I needed so I could do what I needed to do, right? In this earthly place to achieve what I needed to achieve. And the best perspective I can give you guys around this, like my wake-up call, was what do men and women of God do that work a job? Do they sit at home and say, thank you? Does Veronica wake up every single day and say, thank you, God, for this amazing job, and then not go to work? And then say, you know what, as I sit here, dear Lord, make sure that paycheck shows up in 2 weeks, but doesn't go to work? Like, I know that sounds silly and y'all might want to laugh, but there's nothing in me right now that's laughing, because there's so much work here to be done that if we just recognize what we have, the resources we have, the opportunities we've been given, Decide what you want. Decide what you want. Decide that you're going to go get it because you have everything that you need, and take responsibility. You don't have to pray for the clients or pray for the customers or pray for the outcome. Be grateful the roadmap fell into y'all's lap. Maybe be grateful that I showed up. I don't know what you got to be grateful for. Be grateful that you have a mind, right, to want something more for yourself. But now what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? All right. So like I said, you really can change your financial situation, right, in 90 days. Right? Yes, I have to allow the Lord to bless the work of my hand. Absolutely. Right? You do the work, right? Things happen. Right? So just as a reminder, you guys, like my mentorship community is included when you decide to purchase the course through me. You get my mentorship hub, which has additional resources and training and lessons. It's really, I think about my hub as being an accelerant on this journey. The course is like, that's your foundation. That's what you're going to learn from. And then you leverage my mentorship to help you with gaining clarity and direction. And, you know, just kind of like helping you fine tune and even refine. And then I have office hours on Tuesdays. You can pop in, ask questions, get guidance. Office hours is a hot spot. I love it. I love it so much because it allows people to be heard, to be seen, and to be supported. And I think that's really, really important in the day and age that we're in right now. There's no additional cost for that. Just purchase the course and you get access and invited every single week. And then once a month, I do a deeper dive training where we kind of talk about a specific topic. And so it's almost like this, like literally should have been a closed community call. It really should have been, but I just want to help more people. I've been getting so many questions, right, about like my success and how to succeed and Steph, what am I doing wrong? And I just want to give back. And I hope this can help anyone, right? For sure. I hope it can help anyone that might feel like you've just been missing the mark. All right. And so like if you've enjoyed this and you've been looking for such help, you've been looking for such information, again, like you're ready to change things, you're ready to learn digital marketing. Again, you're like, I want to follow this, right? So that I can change my life or my financial situation. You're really, really fast. Again, y'all, I'm okay with saying things like really, really fast. I'm okay with saying things in the next 90 days. Because if I was out there watching, I'd be like, oh yeah, I betcha, Steph, I'm gonna change my situation in the next 90 days. I wouldn't look this or take this as pie in the sky. I would look at this as a challenge. I'm gonna do it. And so I'm treating you as if you already believe it's possible. Like, you know, it's doable and that you just needed the steps. You just needed such information to be shared with you. All right. So like if you dug this and you would love to, you know, be in my space more, learn from me more, glean from my experience to help you on this journey. Again, my mentorship is included. All right. So the link down below in the description, goprowithsteph.com, will get you tapped into the course at the very minimum. Go get the information. Learn everything that you get access to within this course. Learn what it can do for you. If I didn't make this very clear, not only is it a digital marketing course that's going to teach you the business of online business and digital marketing skills from A to Z, all right, all the fundamentals that you need to know to get your business to 6 figures and above, to support everything I broke down today. All right. But it also comes with master resale rights. So if you don't have a digital product to sell, if you want to get off on a very, very fast start to begin selling something, to start practicing your digital marketing skills, right? Maybe you fall in love with the idea of what we teach here and you want more people to know about it, or you want to start sharing your experience and sharing your journey with other people and you want to get a fast start, you can turn right back around and sell this course as your own. So we have an entire module that will walk you through how to get this course set up as your own so that when someone buys it from you, again, they're buying it directly from you. And if you want to leverage my funnel, you get access to my funnel in my mentorship hub. You get access to email swipe copy to help you put your welcome email sequence together. You get access to content ideas, a ton of stuff you get access to, but it's all there to support you on this journey. All right. So repeat location of mentorship hub. Mentorship hub is the Podia, Lois. The mentorship hub is the Podia. All right. So the digital profits you, that's the mentorship hub, if that's what you were asking. All right. So we have office hours this Tuesday, and then the 27th is going to be our monthly call. It'll either be, yes, I'm going to stick with the 27th. I forgot. I made my mind up. I know it's Memorial Day, but by 8 o'clock, right, those that are serious about their business will be ready to dive in, right? So 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the 27th is our monthly community call in our mastermind. It's going to be amazing. If you do have any questions, again, start with GoProWithStuff.com, right? Go ahead and just scroll through the very simple but comprehensive sales page to learn everything that you get when you make your one-time investment of $500. You can pay with PayPal, you can pay with debit or credit card, and you can also pay through Klarna and Afterpay, which gives you the opportunity to split up your payments. So you can get started now, and even if you get started by splitting up your payments, you still get full access to everything. And the fun thing is you're going to learn exactly how to get that set up for your business as well, so that you're able to give your customers the opportunity to start now and to be able to spread their payments out as well. We teach you all of this. All right. And so if you think you would love to learn from me, or if you're like, Steph, would love to model like what it is that you're doing, even if you decide upon a different platform, right? Literally, it's the way that we choose to do business, right? I would love to support you on this journey. I would love to see you get started. I would love to know that you're set up to change your financial situation over the next 90 days and to really decide to win big this year. Please don't sit back, right, and watch me do these things or watch anyone do these things. Decide, right, that you're going to be a participant on this journey, right, and that you're going to decide to change your situation, right, over these next coming months. Don't be someone that lives by regret. All right. Decide that sitting the bench is not good enough, that you want to learn how to play the stinking game. All right. And I'm telling you, that's exactly what this course, coupled with my mentorship, right, can help you do a lot faster, right? If you want, it's again, you got to want it, right? If you want to go faster, that's exactly what this course coupled with my mentorship can do for you. All right. Clearly, you got to do it for yourself, but this is here to help you. All right. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. You guys are the reason that I show up. I hope that you are leaving better than when you came. Feel free to put this replay on repeat, right? Listen to it over and over and over again and allow these tips to become your tips to your road to $10,000 months, and to know, because you're building a strong foundation, right, that it is impossible to ever go backwards from there. Have a fantastic Saturday, you guys. Take action, take action, take action, right? And I will see you guys throughout the week. Bye-bye.